So I've just finished watching the documentary A Manchester Story, directed by Anton Arenko and Steve Ergen, and it deals with the events in 2017, May 22nd, where there was a terrorist attack at the Manchester Arena, but it's not to do with that event specifically, like at the time or before it. It's more to do with what happened to some of the survivors afterwards, and also some of the people in the local community and the things that they did to raise money or bring harmony or just bring the community together. It's a really powerful way of documenting something that was clearly very tragic, very harrowing, but in a way that was completely focused on the positive outcomes, what happened with individual people, groups, how they came together. So, for example, there was a biker, and he decided to organise a ride past Manchester Arena with all these bikes, and he thought, okay, it'll be a cool thing for the biker group to do, but then it grew and grew and grew, and suddenly there were hundreds of bikes descending on Manchester city centre. And there's another story of like a tattoo artist who just sort of thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we got the Manchester Bee, and did that for people if they wanted it, like giving them people like a free tattoo, and how that exploded. Very poor choice of words there, but actually the impact was felt and reverberated around the world, like a positive thing that ended up people in other countries getting this tattoo. Actually, funny enough, even the band Bowling for Soup turn up. They get it, and it was just really interesting to see that. It's dealt with in a kind of chapter format. So to begin with, at least the first 2/3 of the film. So each sort of mini story gets its own section. They don't cross it over until really the final third, where you start to see all the different stories coming together. So, for example, one of the mums who lost their son, who's like early on in the film, she gets a tattoo, which is mentioned later in the film. So yeah, it was great to see that kind of eventually come together and tie in these little threads of a community that dealt with this tragedy in a different way, in a different methods, but all still being very positive. Very little of the film focuses on the person who did it and why they did it. Actually, there's no mention of why or anything like that, which actually was really great. It's a really refreshing look at this. It's not trying to sort of exploit the emotions of that. It's more to do with look what happened, look what the human reaction to this was, and that was really great. There's a few technical issues with the film, I would say, such as some of the sound levels being a little bit off, and in one scene, like a boom mic kind of drops into the visual, but that's fine. I think one of the appealing facts of this film is the sort of do-it-yourself nature. People having an idea and running with it, and the filmmakers here just saying, well, actually, let's do it. Let's make this film. Let's do it. And it's not about it being perfect and polished and what every other documentary would try and do. It's more just about actually representing these people and the stories that they've got, which are it's more than powerful enough. So it's really worth your time. Really worth checking out. It's going to be at the UK Film Review Festival this November, so you can watch it, and anyone can watch it from anywhere in the world. So hopefully you get to check it out. And yeah, it's called A Manchester Story.